Look, ain't no such thing as halfway free. Ain't no such thing as halfway me. Cold gang, neck, whole shoulder, I'm more fleece. And I don't hang with big names, no Lil C's. Roll longer, I don't trip, we gassed up. Some rap friends be slutted out and ass up. Get your money, it's all love. But please don't compare me to niggas with 4 plugs.
What you waiting on? At this point, you already know these niggas ain't who you thought they was. You already know this game ain't what you thought it was. But you chose to be here. Make sure when it's time to talk about who the best, and who different, and who nice, and who doing something different, who pushing the culture forward, that your name on that list. Let these clowns be clowns, dog.
Look.
What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Daysha E.
And it's your boy, Dante.
And y'all already know we are back with another great episode of Culture or Clickbait, where we take the hottest headlines in music, sports, and entertainment, and we save us for the culture.
Or simply just for clicks. The only show where you find out if the world is just bored or y'all be doing anything on the internet for clicks.
It could be a combination of both, you know?
For real.
It just depends. All of it's entertainment.
For sure.
Yeah.
Entertainment is the word of the day.
Yeah.
No,
it is
it's
not. You're stealing the word of the day, and it is not that.
It is not that one.
What's poppin', Dante?
What's poppin', Slime?
Nothing. Shit. Chill.
Brand new whip just hopped in.
Yep, just here so I don't get fined.
I'm dead. How was your weekend?
Pretty good. How was yours?
My weekend was great. I went home, went for my mom's birthday, and it was my dad's birthday, and it was their anniversary, all in the same weekend.
Yeah, that's
so
dope.
I celebrated that with them, but I also made some time for some business stuff. So I had a pretty good weekend. I think it was very productive.
Yeah, that's good. You got some family time in, some work in. Can't beat that.
Right.
Yeah, my weekend was pretty busy as well. Had some makeup clients, and then had to come work here at the studio as well, because we had like 3 different events going on at the same time. We had an amazing Sweet 16, which was so beautiful and so cute. It was a fashion show as well. And probably like the day before that, it was a 100-year Black History celebration here as well. So very active weekend, but a great weekend overall.
That's good. I think for me, like this week is the itis is finally kicking in.
Yeah.
It is midterms already.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like I'm already mentally checked out, like I'm done, as if I walked across the stage already.
Yeah.
And it's not here. It's like really 2 months because we go on spring break next week.
Right.
April is gonna fly by. Graduation is the first week of May, the second week.
That's so exciting.
But classes end the week before, so it's like literally I'm almost done.
Yeah.
And it feels like I'm done now.
Yeah, no, just keep pushing. Again, persevere.
Right. That's exactly right.
Persevere.
Man, like
it.
even I was taking midterms yesterday, and I felt like I'm like, bro, I'm zoning out. Like I'm not here.
It's like I read the question, but I don't know
this?
what I read.
I want to be done, but shoot, anything can happen. That's why you kind of gotta finish strong, because at the end, right at the end, you can end up. I'm walking across the stage to. What? I'm not? GPA drop? Really fast.
Seriously, it can get scary. And we've seen those situations happen from undergrad to grad school. So, yeah.
Exactly. I ain't trying to be one of those horror stories.
See it through, my boy. Literally.
Now, we got some interesting stuff that we're talking about today. You guys like, oh my God, there's a lot happening. But I would definitely say today is a little bit more calm.
Yeah, it is.
Not a lot of fuck shit and big asses going on,
no.
but it's some heavy shit happening.
There's definitely some shit happening.
We're gonna call this some big money shit.
I like big money shit. Call that. But let's go ahead and get into what we're gonna talk about today. So for those of you that don't know, there is a new festival called the Tycoon Festival. So we'll be talking about that. We'll
be talking about Juvenile and Megan Thee Stallion with BBB, Big Booty Bitches, single out that done hit the airwaves and got people going crazy.
Maybe it is some big ass shit going on this episode too. But
just a little bit.
Yeah, we also talking about the NAACP Awards.
We talking about this new Netflix deal with, not Netflix, but Paramount deal with Warner Brothers.
Yep.
Clap it up for them.
Yep, and then we got Michael Rainey Jr. talking about his experience on Power.
We got the premiere of Scream 7 and the trailer for Scary Movie 6.
Yep, and then we got Tenderism. That word always throw my little tongue. Then we have Tenderism, and we talking about what he got going on.
Then we got some controversy around this new Disney show called Hey AJ, and a character by the name of Captain Durag. Let's see what that's all about.
Yep, and then Monaleo had to cancel some shows because she had an emergency situation with her health. So.
And then we got a little surprise conversation we want to have with you guys today about Gen Z, because you guys are cooked.
Or are ya?
Only one way to find out.
Yep, and we're going to. You ready to clock everything? Let's get into it.
Let's get it.
So first thing we have on the list is the Tycoon Festival, which will be taking place in Miami, Florida. Now, what makes this super exciting is the fact that this concert is supposed to happen April 4th. But even bigger, we have some great headliners and just people that will be there. The biggest who will be headlining is Mr. Chris Brown himself.
Clap it up for CB, Chris Breezy.
The one thing that I like about Chris Brown right now is the simple fact of, though he may not have been the person that was picked for Super Bowl or all of these other things that everybody is up for debate on the internet about, I love that he's continuously working. He's keeping his name in the mix. He's definitely touching his audience, and he's showing us that star power on all stages right now, and I think that that's amazing. But Chris Brown is not the only person that will be at this concert. We also have Monica,
You got
Trick
Tank.
Daddy, Tank,
Yeah.
Sexy Red,
Sexy Red.
yep, Plies.
Plies. Even the fact that Plies is coming outside, like, I'm down for it.
Plies being there is going to be
But
very
you know what?
cute.
It's only right. How you gonna have a show in Miami and not bring like some
The
of the
Florida
Miami,
people.
Florida heavy hitters? Like,
Yeah.
So that's only right.
I agree.
Boss Man D-Lo is on the show as well.
Yep.
I need Rod Wave to be on this show.
Oh, Rod Wave would have been a cute addition to this show.
Yes.
For sure.
I needed that. I would have definitely loved to go sing some Rod Wave.
For
Rod Wave
sure.
mass choir to the front.
No, seriously, that actually would be very, very fire to add him. Now, this is the thing. This is a new festival.
Yeah.
So, with it being new, this is one of those things that we kind of just got to watch and see how it grow. See what the logistics are, how they have their setup, how the stages are. Is it a main stage or is everybody just on one stage? So there's like a lot of things to wait around for to see how it's going to be mapped out. But I'm excited. I'm always excited for a festival happening in Miami.
For sure. I do think that's a big thing.
Florida artists being on that lineup despite who is the headliner or who is there. That's always a win for me too. And then just again, the lineup
Yeah.
itself,
Because
I
even
think,
Monica's on the show.
yeah, the lineup itself, I feel like covers everything. Like they're giving us R&B, they're giving us rap, and they also are giving us like that in between. Everybody that's on the lineup pretty much is hood and good. And it's something about
Hood
that
and
I
good.
like.
I love it. And it's
Everybody
crazy that
hood and good
so-
on this, and it's something about that I like.
It's
It
crazy
really
that you
is.
say that because I was about to say something. Random thought. Like, this is far, far, far random in the randomest fields outside. But you know who I actually want to hear on a feature?
Who?
I want to hear Chris Brown and Trick Daddy.
I wouldn't be mad. It got to be something like, they got to make something like Sugar, ooh, oh my tongue.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or
it got to be something like that. Or
If I Ain't a Thug. If I Ain't a Thug. Like, New
Okay.
Age, because that was Trey Songz.
okay, that was
So
Trey.
if I can hear a new age version of If I Ain't a Thug or a different record with Chris Brown and Trick, I will go up for that record. Like, I
I could
will
do
go
a Chris
crazy.
Brown with Plies.
I can do Chris Brown and Plies as well.
I think Chris Brown and Plies will actually go, for real. Like, I feel like Chris Brown and Trick might be an acquired taste type of thing. I think that Chris Brown and Plies, though, would go.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't have boundary lines, I don't think.
For sure. Especially him in his new era, Chris.
Yeah.
Now,
This is, what you think, Culture or Clickbait?
I'm going to give it Culture. I don't know why I had to think about it. That was definitely for the Culture.
Me too, I agree.
Now, while we're talking about some other stuff that has people going crazy and we're talking about legends and all this, Juvenile just dropped a new single, BBB, Big Booty Bitches. Now, if you ask me, the song
like
is
that.
lit, right?
Mm-hmm.
The song is like really, really dope. And when he put out the teaser of the record on TikTok, crazy Aunt was knowing what to do with TikTok, because TikTok went crazy. And the TikTok influencers started making comments saying, we need Megan Thee Stallion on the record.
Yep, and mind you, it all started from his car freestyle video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they ended up doing a matchup. Like, there was one random DJ. He did a matchup where he put the records together.
Mm-hmm.
And when he put the records together, And it wasn't her. It was like one of her older records that she did. They meshed the voices.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Oh my God, yes, Megan, Megan, Megan." So now, fast forward, we have a Megan Thee Stallion feature on BBB, and her verse. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It go hard.
Yeah.
You know, Clarissa and Papoose was going crazy online because she mentioned them.
I know that's right.
She said he like Clarissa, he loved his Papoose or something like that. She said. I don't know. But Clarissa Shields definitely went crazy for it online, and she has been singing it all weekend, getting on my nerves. But you know, you good. I mean, I ain't gonna say I can't stand her, but
listen, I think that this is an exciting record. I think we love when the internet actually pitches something that makes sense.
Right.
We love that. You know what I'm saying? Like how the DJs did the mashup with Kalani, why don't you stay with the Beyonce beat in the background. Like, we love when the internet concocts something that really can be cultural.
Mm-hmm.
And they are doing what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see that he matched up with somebody who's currently making music and bridge that gap versus being like, I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to fuck with the new generation. I ain't really on that. So I like that he was receptive to that because it works in everybody's favor.
Right.
And now we got a bomb-ass feature.
And I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Argue with your mama. Don't argue with me. The Unks got the best rap flow that all of these new niggas out. Name me a new nigga that rap better than any of them. I'll wait.
The way
Maybe
I want a
Future,
maraca, the way
but
I
not
want my
even
booty
then.
cheeks to maraca to this song so bad. And when I say maraca, y'all know how maracas go like this? That's what the booty cheeks got to do when this song play. BBB, you got the
and
maraca.
it could be just me, right? I could just appreciate the flow of like the OG rappers.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's my time. I don't know. But what I do know is I can listen to them and I feel like I'm more connected to the music than when I listen to a lot of the new music.
Agreed.
Like even with T.I.'s new single, like that single, I can actually get into that.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I agree.
Now, before we move on too far out of Megan, we also got to talk about Megan Thee Stallion's new Broadway feature that she'll be a part of as well. She will be on the Moulin Rouge Broadway show.
Yeah.
Which is big for her because she's also the first black rapper to be a part of it.
Yep.
So this is also like another win. You know, regardless of what Megan Thee Stallion has going on personally and regardless of every way she's been in the media, one thing I can always applaud about her is that she gonna work her ass off.
She gonna work.
And she gonna get them deals and she gonna get the job.
Yeah.
So big ups to Megan Thee Stallion. Congratulations. I love that for you. That is definitely for the culture.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. This is definitely for the culture. Now, you guys, we have to also talk about some major for the culture stuff that we could just go ahead right now and stamp it as such because the NAACP Awards took place and there were some major wins that we had, okay? Now, y'all, we had Michael B. Jordan take home 2 awards, one of them being Actor of the Year.
Yep, outstanding.
Outstanding, yes, Actor of the Year. And then we also had Outstanding Motion Picture go to Sinners, another Ryan Coogler win. We love that. We had Lene with her Parking Lot Pimpin' show being Outstanding Content.
Outstanding Digital Content Creator of the Year.
They're
adding new superlatives.
Well deserved for sure. And something that I loved about this NAACP Awards is I felt like I was there. I felt like I was there from the red carpet, from the red carpet all the way to the actual show. Like, I like the fact that when we all get in one room together, it feels like a reunion. You see everybody say, "Hey, girl, I see you so long. You look good. Look at you." Yeah. I love.
Come on, auntie.
I love the extra, like, blackness about stuff like this in the simplest of ways. And it just shows how cultured we really are and how you can't really put us in a box. We do any and everything, and we can do any and everything. And something that I wanted to take away from this award show was the speeches. I think that everybody came very well prepared with their speeches. Truly. I truly appreciate how everybody was thanking their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for putting them in place, you know what I'm saying? As well as thanking themselves for putting in the work and thanking their teams. And Michael B. Jordan's speech actually hit home because just him talking about how he wasn't expecting that award and just being the little boy from New Jersey who was trying to find money to be able to make it to auditions, and talk about like his struggle to now see everybody in the room truly supporting. Like the roar of the audience was insane. You could really feel that everybody was truly happy for his win. So I love that. I love to see us just come together and show our excellence in more ways than one.
Yeah, I appreciated it as well. I really appreciated seeing Cynthia Erivo get her award as well for Outstanding Actress for Wicked. You know, because
Miles too for Breakout.
I saw like a lot of her journey before Wicked, and so now seeing her at this point, it's like, okay, I kind of like this on her. Granted, you know, other than the weird shit that her and Ariana had going on mid promo, I think other than that, she's a very good actress. And so the reward is very well deserved. Even with the antics that they was doing, I honestly feel like that was just a method of their acting. Like it kind of like get into the character and sell the character in its totality. Even in every day versus just like for the moment. And anybody who knows any Disney characters, that's typically like the whole idea of a Disney character anyway. They live the character on and off the screen.
Them and Marvel.
Until it's done. So I appreciated that from her. I liked it to see that. This, if you ask me, NAACP Awards was definitely for the culture, as it's always.
It definitely is. But before we get out of this topic, we have to also talk about Mr. Miles Canton, who got the Breakthrough Actress of the Year or Actor of the Year. And I think that that was amazing and well deserved as well. So I think this is definitely for the culture, 1,000%. It ain't even nothing to go back and forth over. We ain't even got to break down why. Y'all already know why. Blackity black, root for everything black. And that's that.
Now, while we're talking about rooting for everything black, granted, this is not black, but it's definitely a win.
It is a win.
A win is a win. So if you don't know, Paramount just actually went through with the bid with Netflix, with Warner Brothers, and they won. Now, granted, in this bid, the bid was for $110 billion, right? But in the moment, they also had to pay a $2.8 billion fee to take Netflix out of the deal. Now, I'm not going to lie. I can see how this happens because Paramount was not even offering, but they had a bigger plan in mind with the Warner Brothers catalog, because they didn't just want the catalog, they want the studios, they want everything that's involved into the Warner Brothers ecosystem. Versus Netflix, that's not what they really wanted. They just wanted some of the catalog for streaming and some rights of IP. That was really it. They didn't have this old humongous plan that they wanted to go all in with Warner Brothers. At least not right now. So they kind of pulled out of the deal anyway, because it was like, this is not what we really trying to do anyway. So let them have it. But once again, to do that, Paramount still needed to pay up that $2.8 billion to get their $110 billion bid. Now, of course, we also know this could take up to 6 to 8 months to actually fully go through with some governmental things and some policy approvals that have to go in play. Because one of the biggest things that they're looking at and that they're afraid of is a monopoly being done in the film industry with something of this magnitude. So, you know, we kind of can sit back and watch, but if you ask me, the deal is done. You know, it's on pen, so it's done until maybe, you know, something else comes up. But I think this is a win. I'm not mad at it. I want to see how Paramount takes the Warner Brothers catalog and make it even bigger.
I do too. I'm excited. I think that Paramount has had enough skin in the game, whether it is the top competitor or not. You know what I'm saying? With Netflix being one of those things that we always see. You know, Netflix is always out front, but I think Paramount is a solid legacy
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That outlives Netflix, if you want to be technical. We've been locked in with Paramount just as long as we've been locked in with Warner Brothers. You know, so I think that the collaboration does make sense. And like you said, they were interested in doing a lot more. So it's like, why would I choose a company that kind of want to give us a little bit when I have a company over here that outbid this one that want to give us a little bit, but they also want to give us a lot more. We have a lot more angles that we could work with Paramount anyway. So I don't think it's a bad mix at all.
Right. And
I don't.
Even when you look at the credibility of Paramount, they've been around for quite some time.
Yes.
Now, granted, that could be both scary and it could be also a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, because they can also come in and just kind of take over. But essentially, that's what they want to do anyway. That's what they're paying for.
Yeah.
That's what they're paying the money for.
They're definitely paying to play and like you said, probably take over.
And I remember early on in the entire situation, they did promise that upon winning this bid, that there would be multiple Warner Brothers movies that would come out that I feel like is probably already done in the can, and they just want to get ahead and get this stuff out to the media.
Yeah.
So they're giving us these promises because they already know we already got stuff that could come out tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's smart. It gets the ball rolling immediately. The merge makes sense. I remember last year we were going back and forth over who we think would be the better person to take over, and I feel like last year we was low-key saying the opposite. We was saying we could see it for Netflix.
Now, granted, if Netflix would have got it, it would have been a win for Netflix. But that's probably the thing, right? It probably would have been more beneficial for a Netflix versus just like Warner Brothers. Because, I mean, Warner Brothers would have got something out of the deal, too.
They would have been a part of Netflix. Definitely would have
because they would have been a part of Netflix's growth journey, essentially. But, you know, in this situation, I'm not going to lie, it's probably a win for Paramount and Warner Brothers being together because of that component that we spoke about.
Yeah.
Once again, Netflix is not a bad choice, but hey, in this situation, Paramount might be the best choice.
Yeah. Would you say this is culture or clickbait?
I would say this is cultural because essentially it could also affect everything else within the media and movie space that we know and love.
Yeah.
You know, so I think this would be for the culture because it's on the business side. It's also good to, we talk about the clickbaity stuff all the time. We talk about the crazy, trendy stuff, but this is also something good to be aware of because you got to understand the landscape.
Yeah, and you have to understand how many opportunities it actually pose for advancement.
Or what it might close off.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Now, Dante, I'm sure you saw, but Michael Rainey Jr. was on the internet and did an interview on somebody's podcast, and he basically just stated that it has been made a requirement by one of his co-hosts' page that he must be aroused when they do a sex scene. Granted, when this clip made it on the internet, y'all already know how the internet do. It's just a little snippet of the clip, and everybody run with it and start to concoct their own stories. So you could go ahead and give us a little bit more background about how that situation took place.
So I saw the entire interview on his podcast that he does with his co-host, his co-star from Power. And the situation is that, like, you know, it's not exactly what the media was trying to make it online. Basically, he explained how when they are in an intimate scene with each other, she requires him to be aroused or at least turned on by the moment. Because if not, she feels like either there's something wrong with him or there's something wrong with her. And for the full totality of the chemistry, there needs to be a level of arousal.
Yeah.
Because then she can really get into character.
Yeah.
And I can feel that. I can understand that because it's a craft. Acting is not as easy as people think.
Yeah.
And so just think about it from their perspective. If I'm doing an intimate scene with you and we don't have that kind of chemistry, this is going to be an awkward 5 minutes, 10 minutes of a moment. Because, and not even 10 minutes, because that moment can go for 30 minutes because they have to shoot it at so many different angles.
Yeah.
So we shooting this sex scene almost like 5 times, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I need to feel something.
But my thing is, you want him to have blue balls. All them different angles that the shit got to be shot in, and you want a nigga the whole time. I'm stressed out. I'm backed up now. You got
at
to
least
be,
for the
like,
moment.
No, but I completely understand. So I think that the stance is very valid. in order for the synergy to give what it needs to give in a sex scene, I completely understand how, like, you have to get into it.
You gotta be she feels like you gotta be attracted to me.
You got to get into it. That's the only way to make a really good sex scene, if you ask me.
Yeah. And it
got hard and she wanted it, it would be a me too.
Yeah, and you see, that's where it gets sketchy.
But that's where the conversations happen, right?
Yeah.
So, because they do have these conversations on set during their open readings. Like, what are the parameters?
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with this? Do you like this? And the what ifs.
Yeah.
Let's put it all out on the table now. Because if you might be, you could say you're a guy who just kind of get turned on just by the touch, right?
Yeah.
If she's not aware of that, that could be weird if it happens on set.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Trevor Jackson, he also just did an interview with Cam Newton on his podcast, and he actually talked about the same situation for him where, like, he had to do a sex scene in Superfly.
Mm-hmm.
And how, like, in those type of sex scenes, sometimes, like, the girl will either wear something to cover herself, like, especially when they're completely nude, and he would wear a sock.
Mm-hmm.
Because in that way, it kind of keeps things kind of hidden.
Yeah, you do have those little...
But it keeps it down. Like, they have to, make sure it's, like, controlled.
Yeah.
But so there's other ways that they go about making these things happen. But I'm not gonna lie, Power has some like very intense
some good
sex scenes.
So with that being said, with the standard already being set for what they sex scenes were, I do understand the whole idea of let's really sell it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be hard up on it being aroused during the actual scene. I wouldn't be stuck on that. Long as we look like what we need to look like,
Right. 'Cause, I mean, lucky for them, I don't think Michael and Paige ever did like a fully nude sex scene, if I can remember back to the show. I think they were always either like clothes or like undergarments. 'Cause I know there was one time he probably had on no shirt and she didn't have on a shirt, but she had something covered. You could tell something was covering her chest.
We didn't see Paige boobs. I don't know what they look like.
We didn't. And we didn't see nothing below.
We saw Tasha's though.
We definitely saw Tasha.
So my thing is, Paige, why you ain't pull the titties out if you got to get hard? I'm trying to, let's really talk about it. If we trying to sell, I'm just kidding.
Because they was also, they were technically supposed to be teens, but they're college kids.
What the hell?
But they haven't sex.
Bumping naked in the way we hunched them extra large twin beds now.
That's crazy.
Like,
extra large twin beds is crazy.
And you mean to tell me you want a little something covering the boobs now, baby? Take all that off. Let's really get into some things. Yeah, no. But I completely understand the thought process behind what Paige was saying. And I understand how the people were taken back as well initially upon hearing this, because, yes, if we role reverse and it was the opposite situation, we probably will be having a totally different conversation. You know what I'm saying?
What, if he said it?
Yeah, like it would have been a he's a perv if it was flipped, if the scenario was flipped, where he required her to moisten when they have a interaction or something.
See, but that's the difference between having an outer organ and an inner organ.
Yeah, you can't tell if it's moist.
Why are you down? For her standpoint, why your hand down here? I didn't ask you to put your hand down there. I just asked you to get aroused. So in his
no, we finna get into some things. Put your hand down now. Rub the thing, just.
Because now we're having a whole nother movie. Now this is a corn.
Nope, it was a sex scene. We was.
This is an HBO flick at that moment.
You know, I ain't mad at that. Wasn't it on HBO?
No, it was on Stars. Well, Stars used to have theirs too.
Same thing. Hello, who had real sex? Well, forget it. Whatever. All in all, I completely understand this. Like, you got to really get into it in order for it to convey through the cameras. So I get it.
And
granted,
it kind of goes to that double standard too.
Hard or not, you got a job to do.
Exactly. Like, you still have a job, and I think it's good that certain things, when we talk about consent, does come from a woman.
Yeah.
Right? Because with certain things, like, men are a little bit more lax about.
Yeah.
Women are more rigid.
Yeah.
So to hear the woman say, that's what I want, it's like, okay,
okay.
You make me feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because for a man, it's like, I may or may not be able to control it.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, but you giving me the open door says, all right, cool, I can relax. Let's work.
Yeah. Damn. Hey.
Now, would you say that's for the culture, or you say that clickbait?
I think it was a clickbait thing. I think the conversation of how you explain, like when they are having their actual table reading, they are discussing these things prior to. So that's why he was able to disclose this information in this interview, because it's things that's already discussed. It's something that she already consented to. So I think that side of it, I think that's cool, you know what I'm saying? And that could be considered for the culture. But this is definitely a clickbait thing to me.
Yeah,
Sure.
I definitely think it's clickbait. Do I think it was an intentional thing to be clickbait? No, because the nature of the conversation, it was just open dialogue that kind of flowed into it. So
Yeah.
I don't think he said it as a way of gloating, which is another thing that the internet was trying to portray.
Yeah, he wasn't
as
gloating
if
or
he
trying
was
to make her seem
make
weird.
her look bad, right?
Yeah.
And like doing like guy talk. Like I don't think that was his case.
No.
It just seemed like it was open conversation. She's okay with it. She the one who put it out there
Yeah.
in the reading. So it's kind of like, I could talk about it. So I think it was unintentionally clickbait, but it was good clickbait nonetheless. It was a teachable moment
For sure.
for people who want to get into acting.
For sure. And then it also made sense for the timing as well. It's definitely a little bit of PR there somehow, some way, just simply because, I don't know if you saw, but 50 posted that this will be his last Power series, like spinoff that he's going to do. And it had a image of half Tommy face, half Tyreek
Yeah,
face.
because if y'all didn't see
So,
the ending of Tommy, y'all don't even know how
it's
that's
like,
about to happen.
you see what I'm saying? So it's like, it all is very timely, very clickbaity, but clickbaity with a purpose.
Did you
I'm
see the
almost
ending?
sure. No, I didn't. I haven't finished Force, so don't tell me. I
I'm
got
not
to
going to
finish.
tell you. I'm not going to tell
I
you.
got to finish for sure.
Now, while we're talking about sequels and endings and new beginnings, we got to talk about Scream 7.
Yeah.
Now, if y'all don't know, Scream 7 just released on last Friday, and from the reviews, there has been mixed reviews. So there's a lot of people saying, oh, the movie could have been kept, but then a lot of people are more so appreciating how it still flows into the original timelines of the movie, and they feel as though the production did a great job with the marketing as far as not overhyping us.
Yeah.
Because originally that was some of the feedback that we were getting. It was like, well, the movie didn't sell that great out of the box office first night, which, first night sales are usually very important. But from their standpoint, they wanted it to not be an oversold movie as far as hype is concerned.
Yeah.
They wanted people to naturally go watch it because they are in love with the franchise and give it a real feedback of review based on what you see, not on what you was speculating what happened. Right? So I think with that regard, the movie is starting to pick up some better traction, and it's doing really well because the mixed reviews are now turning to more positive reviews.
Yeah.
And I like that because I am a Scream slasher movie fan.
Yeah. Me
So
too.
I have not seen the movie yet, but I am going to see it ASAP. So my friends, y'all got 24 hours, and I'm not waiting on y'all anymore.
Look, I'm with you and you're right. I think that them doing less promo was smart, like you said, for sure. I haven't seen it, so I can't say what it's hitting for officially, but it is on my to-dos of this week so that I can say if they need to cut it or if they could give us another one. But just simply off the number, I feel like they could cut it. You know what I'm saying? That has been one of the main debates that people have been having. Like, okay, we keep making these movies. When are we wrapping this? I feel like 7 is solid. You know, we could wrap up the franchise here at the 7, but I would have to watch it, see how it ended to see what really makes sense for real.
And now, but I'm not gonna lie though, I wouldn't be mad if they don't cut it. But I also gotta see 7.
Yeah.
I gotta see how this ends. I gotta see how everything plays out. Because then that way I can say if this storyline is being prolonged too long, or is it time to cut it. But if they do cut it, I would not be upset about a reboot that comes from a different angle. And maybe it's not even the Scream character. Maybe it's the birth of a whole new character.
Yeah.
You know? Because it kind of takes me back to the show, the movie that used to come on, Urban Legend, which I also feel in some ways Scream was birthed through Urban Legend. Because it was the same concept, slasher film, XYZ.
Yeah.
I can see Scream having another moment where maybe it's a new character who's not the Ghostface mask. You know, it could be the birth of the clown mask, you know, or something else.
No, y'all gonna have to take that to a whole nother movie. Now, we can't take away the mask. The mask is the movie.
Take away the movie, but bring the characters along.
Okay.
Right? So, like, let's just say Dewey became a killer in his own right, and Dewey became, like, a masked cop killer or some shit. just kind of brainstorming.
It still got to be the same.
But
mask,
you
though.
bring the characters back.
Yeah.
And leave the mask, because now you have the legacy, but a whole new character.
Yeah.
Like, so that's kind of what I'm saying. Now, I don't know how that would spin in the writer's room, how that would work, and maybe they might say, no, we're doing too much. Let's just end it.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know.
It could be.
But it could go either way.
Now, while we talk about the fact that Scream 7 has recently come out, we got to talk about the fact that Scary Movie 6
is on the way.
Also, a few days later, let it be known that it is on the way and they dropped their trailer. This was exciting. Now, I was more excited for a Scary Movie 6 trailer than I was for the Scream 7.
For sure.
Just simply off the fact of it's covering everything. Like, literally everything. We got Get Out moments. We got Sinners moments. We got Megan moments. Like, we have Saw moments again. They literally
Halloween.
did every line crossover. And that's how they are marketing it right now, as every line crossover. So you will see everybody in it, from It to Jason.
They even got
horror.
Not the Punisher, but the clown, the weird clown,
Yeah.
Not It, the other one.
The other one, I can't remember
I
his
can't
name
get the name
either,
out.
but yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Chainsaw, not Chainsaw, not Jigsaw.
No, so it's another clown. It look
Producers,
even
we need y'all
scarier.
help. I can't remember
it
the
look
movie.
even scarier. It's like a witchy looking like
Yeah.
clown, but I know exactly what you're talking
I
about.
forget his
can't
name.
remember the movie either. But this one is basically called Every Line Crossover. So that means we will get every horror person, every horror character
And I'm ready
in
for
this. Me too. And what makes it exciting is we get the Wayans family. Because it's not just the boys, you know what I'm saying? We see the sister pop up. Then we got Regina, who comes back as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Anna, who comes back as well as Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, I love the fact that we are still holding on to these OG people from the movie and merging them over so that this new generation can completely understand what the feels were that we got when we watched these parodies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was, for Scream to be one of those movies that was always super scary to me. Once I watched stuff like Scary Movie, it made me be able to stomach how scary some of these characters really were. It really did. It helped me. It helped me sleep better at night as a kid to watch the Scary Movie version of these things, because it found a way to poke holes through everything that made it so heart-wrenching or so scary, like so thrilling. So
Definitely makes sense.
yeah, I'm for it. I feel like it's going to be filled with laughs. I feel like it's going to be filled with teachable moments. I feel like it's going to be cultured. I feel like it is going to probably tap on some nerves as well. I think some people will be uncomfortable by some of the things that will transpire in this movie because it is a parody. Comedy will be thrown in there, touching on touchy subjects, but making it have a laughing factor to it is definitely going to happen.
Right.
There's going to be stereotypes that's addressed in this movie because we know that they do them in every single one of the parodies. The black lady that's running in the movie and she fall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to see certain
Which was
things.
the score
Yeah.
of Scary Movie.
It is. So I'm excited. I am a little afraid of what the climate of the world may or may not take it like, but we shall see.
And it's funny that you say that because that's another part of like kind of where I was thinking about it as well. Because I saw a conversation way before they even started talking about the filming of Scary Movie 6, where on Twitter, X, they were comparing like movies of the early 2000s and even the 90s of today's time. And they were saying if Scary Movies would have came out in today's generation, it wouldn't have worked, right? They said that it was too stereotypical. There was too many moments that was very sensitive to people's cultures, and it just wouldn't have worked, even down to the comedic style. Now, looking forward, I feel like culturally it would have worked, especially for the sake of it stood true to what it was for. It's a parody.
Yeah.
And it's in true instance to mock everything that we know
That's
about
what it's made for.
scary movies and the world itself.
Yeah.
Because it didn't just focus on the movies that we saw, it also focused on some worldly aspects
Yeah,
as well.
for sure.
And taboo topics.
For sure.
Like, these are things that they poked holes in front of. And they made it look like, stop being so serious about everything. So everything
Just
is not
laugh.
as serious. Sometimes just laugh.
Yeah.
And this is why we had movies that we appreciated back then, because we had laughing moments. We understood entertainment versus real life.
Yeah. You knew what was performative and you knew what was regular reality.
Especially coming from the Wayans brothers. You
Yeah.
kind of knew what to expect. Like, that's their whole DNA.
Yep.
From White Chicks to down to Scary Movie,
Yep.
to down to Low Down Dirty Shame. Like, all of their movies was all, like, parody style comedy.
Yeah, and laughter is at the core of their family unit for sure. You know what I'm saying? They laugh through their struggles. They laugh through their wins. They literally laugh through everything. It's literally a form of ministry for them. So
Right.
I'm excited.
So I would definitely say this is for the culture.
This is for the culture for me too. As one of the people that was a scary movie watcher, this is for the culture, and I'm so excited to really see what is given, because I feel like it's going to be great.
I definitely want to see how the new generation reacts to it, because that's what I really want to hear from.
Yeah. Now, you guys, Mr. Walter Johnson, a.k.a. Tenderism, has left his job, or should I say he was let go. So they decided to let him go from, it was a steakhouse?
Yeah.
Yes. They decided to let him go from the steakhouse that he was working at. And a lot of you guys know about Mr. Tenderism just simply off the fact that he used to show how tender his meat was, that he could just shake it off the bone and it'll fall on the plate and he'll walk away from it like, oh, Lord, look at that, right. I did that. Look at it. So, as this story has currently developed, he was let go from his job. He then made a video letting everybody know he has severed ties. He is no longer at the steakhouse anymore. He is going to do his own thing. The internet, a bunch of celebrities, tastemakers, and influencers took to the comments to let him know that they are supporting him wherever he goes. And that part for me made me so happy, because yes, come together as a community and support this man, because he's truly deserving of it. So you had everybody take to the comments to let it be known that they would support him. Then fast forward a few hours later, maybe a day or so later, he was then cooking for Ron Isley. That's major.
Yeah.
That's major. Now, also in the process of this story, the word tenderism has become extremely trendy. So with that being the thing, the steakhouse went and trademarked tenderism behind Mr. Johnson's back. But we had a solid black lawyer that decided to come through and get that transferred to Mr. Johnson. So now Mr. Johnson has the ownership of the trademark tenderism.
That's what happened when you play dirty.
Yeah.
Like, y'all got all this hype off of this man's name, image, and his likeness.
Yep.
Of the idea of tenderism and even the cooking.
Yep.
And you leveraged it. You even got in some of the videos.
Yep.
Tried to be like you was, down for the cause. Then you let the man go because he was taking up too much clout away from you.
Yep.
Nobody cared about your food before him.
And
like,
what's
even
crazy
if they did,
is,
they didn't give a fuck to that level.
What's crazy is this company obviously just wanted attention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because y'all had to, because that's all he had was attention. He was still being paid whatever he was being paid to come to work in your establishment and cook for your establishment and then give the plate out under your establishment name.
Y'all saw a moment.
So it's like y'all was still winning. At the fact that y'all had to go behind him and play dirty like that, I think it's insane. Just all off of the fact that he was getting attention. Y'all was getting the dollars, but he was getting attention.
Didn't even offer him a percentage of a word he came up with.
Exactly. And stuff like that is just like disgusting. So that's why I truly appreciate that all the influencers, celebrities, and everybody in between truly have been like, wherever Unc go, we going with him. 1000% have his back.
For sure.
I am with it. Now, would you say this is for the culture or this clickbait?
I think that whole thing is for the culture.
I agree.
From him, even down to him getting fired. You know, I'm a true believer
Yeah.
that certain things happen for a reason, and it's to catapult us into other
Yep.
stages of our life.
Yep.
You know, if he wouldn't have gotten fired, he probably would have left on his own because
Yep.
of that idea of comfort and just wanting to be like steady.
Yep.
You
and
know,
then
so
he's
him
older.
having to go ahead and jump out on faith like that, and now look at where it's got him. Man, applause to him. That's for the culture. any
Yeah,
day.
for sure. And then I'm sure it has come across his radar at multiple times throughout his life to probably do his own thing. But then you get up there in age, you feel like you got more life behind you than you have in front of you, and you end up just kind of like locking in and settling somewhere. And you settle somewhere where you think it is your community and all of that, and then you realize, oh, it's not. These people are just out
Vultures.
to use and abuse, and that's just it. So I'm happy that this is happening for him as well, because despite your age, despite any of that, do it. Do it, and get it done. So yeah, this is for the culture for sure.
Definitely for the culture. Now, when we're talking about things for the culture and the idea of getting things done, Disney Junior is under fire right now, and I would say that's debatable.
Yeah.
For one of their new shows called Hey AJ. Now, if you don't know, Hey AJ is a new show on Disney Junior that was actually created by former NFL player Martellus Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
He created a show that centers around his daughter, who goes on like these different moments of teaching with her father.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the controversial part about the show is that there's a segment called Captain Durag, and this is where the dad turns into this superhero guy who wears a durag to help his daughter do regular life skills and
Yep.
life decisions, such as folding laundry or cleaning the
cleaning
house.
up.
Like just different moments where she would look at her dad as, he's my superhero,
Yeah.
and he helped me through these X, Y, and Z moments.
Yeah.
That's when he turns to Captain Durag. Now, the controversy came in because when it took to online, they said that why would Disney greenlit a show like this that kind of upkeeps the idea of stereotypes about black people? Now, not putting in perspective that it's also written by a black man,
Mm-hmm.
and from his perspective, it's that the idea of the durag is a part of our history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, good or bad, it's what we make it,
Right.
And he doesn't look at it as something bad.
Right.
It's a part of his upbringing. It's what he used. And so he used that to showcase the character as the superhero in his eyes. Me personally, I don't think that there's anything technically wrong with the show,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you look at the nature of the show. It doesn't upbring any stereotypes from me.
It doesn't make anything weird arise in the
Right.
conversation. It's very harmless.
Exactly.
And this is my
And
thing
it's a
about
child
it.
show.
It is. This is my thing about it, right? We complain about representation all the time. We complain about our culture being stolen and then represented in our faces by people who don't look like us. We complain about the negative like stereotypes or how certain things of our culture has been twisted and turned to be a negative thing, like how the do-rag at one point equated you're a thug, you know what I'm saying? Or when you see a woman out in her bonnet, it gives she's lazy, you know, or like she don't have no home training or anything like that. I think we argue that side, and then we get something like this, and then we sit there and dissect it. When we look at these other shows, you got them having two moms, two dads, talking about sexuality very early and all of this other stuff. The man just got on the do-rag in a super cape.
Captain Underpants is running around kids with his drawers on.
Literally, Captain Underpants is literally the equivalent to what Captain Do-Rag would be. In a sense.
If you ask me, Captain Durag is a little bit more reserved than polished.
He really is.
Fully clothed. All
Let's
he got
be
on is a
clear.
durag.
Let's be clear. He's
Captain
fully
Underpants ain't
clothed.
got on no shirt, no pants, but some drawers, and he
Exactly,
white.
the cape. And he white. So you mean to tell me that he can do public nudity, but we cannot put a do-rag on a black man in a cape and have him sing the cleanup song to help you put up your clothes?
And see, this is my thing for our people, right? Because what I don't like is sometimes we have this thing of selective outrage.
Yes.
Where we kind of pick and choose the things that pisses us off. And we want to, rally around. The idea of this show, doesn't have to be leaving into like stereotypes or anything.
No.
And honestly, what makes something a stereotype or a bad connotation to it is if we give it that life.
Yep.
Such as the word nigga.
Yeah.
We say it, but we gave it a whole nother meaning for us. Granted, we know the derivatives of it. We know where it
Yeah.
comes from, but we don't use it in that term. We use it in a term of endearment, and now maybe sometimes we do use it a bit derogatory towards our
Yeah,
people,
it
but that's
depends.
our choice,
Yeah.
right? It's pro-choice. It's ours.
Yeah.
I think the same thing comes with do-rags or whatever else might be a part of our culture that we may or may not want to adopt.
Yeah.
If we adopt it as our culture, I'm sure we're not using it as a negative connotation towards the culture.
Yeah.
We're taking something negative and making it a positive for us.
My thing, the do-rag is cool when we shooting hair store content and shit like that, or when we trying to have like, you know how people have like that nostalgic black feeling content where they walk through the hair store and they grab the bows
Right.
and they grab the knockers and all this other stuff. It's cool when it's coming from that angle, but then we put it in a cartoon format and it's an uproar.
My thing is, if it's such a bad thing, how about we just take it out of the culture all completely?
Exactly.
Let's
Stop
not
wearing the shit.
argue about it. Let's take it out. Let's exile it.
Exactly.
So let's take it out of the hair stores, because if it's a problem being on the show, we shouldn't even be selling it. We shouldn't
Right.
even be allowing them to sell it.
Yeah.
Because essentially, I think we're probably the only ones that really buy it. Other than the white people that want to be black, I don't see how a white person can
Yeah, because
wear a
niggas
do-rag.
need that to keep their waves
Granted, I ain't got no hair now. Wear a do-rag.
down. You do.
No, I got to keep the follicles down.
Gotta keep the scalp flat.
Right.
You don't want no ripples in the scalp. Yeah, nah, I don't see a problem at all with this show. I think it's extremely innocent. I think it is just showing how dad goes from a regular person to a superhero, and because that kid wants to please that superhero, the kid is simply listening, taking direction, taking guidance from the superhero, and that's literally all we're seeing.
Right.
Literally. That's it. That's all. Nothing special. I honestly feel like add some homegirls in there, like the Bonnet Sisters or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Or the Bobo Sisters, and now we really got some for the culture shit, if you ask me.
So here's a controversy for me, right? And I'm gonna say this like really, really like calm. This is less controversial than Proud Family.
Proud Family very much
Because
took us through there.
remember the sisters? They were supposed to be ashy black.
Yep. That's why they was blue.
And they was blue.
Mm-hmm.
But they were ashy. Now, that should have been something to talk about. Why are we ashy?
Exactly. But if you want to be technical, we all know somebody that's kind of blurple. AKA a little blackish purple with a little ash. That is regular shit. It's called you got to put on some lotion. Why we so touchy?
Exactly. That's why they cleaned them
touchy?
up in the new one.
Yeah.
In the reboot, they cleaned them up, and I was like, "All right, so
They gave
that's
some
what was
pigment.
going on this whole time. Y'all was dirty and ashy."
That's why they was called the Gross Sisters,
Sisters.
because they look like ew, literally. So yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Man, if you ask me, hey, AJ is for the culture. Disney, thank you guys for the representation.
Yes.
Y'all are doing it justice. I don't see where y'all doing anything wrong right now.
And thank you for the black man that was the person that made it, because we'll take that.
Yeah, shout out to Mr.
1000%.
Martellus.
For
No, if
sure.
you ever available, we need to get you on the show. Call
Call
us.
us. Now, you guys, in news that's not so great, because we love her. We love her.
Yeah.
We have Monaleo, who has recently had to cancel her shows because she had a health emergency. So she took to social media to let it be known that she was canceling her New Orleans show and her Memphis show, I believe, at first. And that was because a health issue arose that caused her to have to get an emergency surgery. So the emergency surgery resulted in her fallopian tube being removed, as well as one of her ovaries. So we want to definitely send out our prayers to Monaleo and her family, her husband as well, as that is kind of, scary. It's a scary situation for a woman. And then for a woman so young, because she is very young, and for her to have been right in the thick of her tour and receiving so much love. It's kind of crazy how your body can shut down and make you say, I gotta stop.
Yeah.
It's actually insane.
When I saw it, I was like, wow, my heart goes out to her because, like you said, she's on tour right now,
Yep.
and she just got married, and she has a lot of good other things happening
Yeah.
for her. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't she have a baby already?
Yep, she has a 1-year-old.
And I don't know if she was planning on having more, but I just understand, like, the mind of a woman in those moments, how, like, it could really, really seem like the world is over.
Yeah.
Because those are two things that are important to you, like,
Yeah.
especially childbirth. You know, there's a lot of beauty in that. And if she does want to have more kids, I'm sure this situation now devastates her.
Yeah.
And it makes you want to ask, will she even be able to, like, continue her tour after this?
Yeah.
Because she still has to recover, but then also the mental toll that is going to be on her afterwards.
And that's the side that I wanted to lean into. So as far as the shows go, at first she canceled the next 2, but because they don't know what the recovery time will be as of now, shows are canceled in general. And we know Monaleo to be a major mental health advocate. You know, like, she has expressed that she has suffered from suicidal thoughts and have even lost friends to that as well. And she always take time out of all of her concerts or just posting on her page in general, just to mentally check in with her audience. So I am almost sure that this will have some type of mental residual to it, 1000%, because it then makes one feel like, am I less of a woman because my body is doing this and the average woman themselves are just walking around regular, you know? So it can turn into a mental thing. But then we also have to talk about the side of things of how women go underdiagnosed in reference to certain things all the time. You will go into a doctor's office with excruciating period pains and they'll just give you some pain medication and send you home because they think you just having a hard time with your cycle. Whole time long you have endometriosis, or you have ovarian cysts, or you have all of these different things that's going on. So it does get scary, and thank God they caught it in time to be able to do a successful surgery and it not result in, like, nothing worse, you know? Because per her and her symptoms, like, it started out as, like, what felt like period cramps, and then it progressed to her, like, throwing up and all of these other symptoms. And us as women, we sit down and stomach this stuff all the time, every month, you know, thinking that you are okay, or just thinking that you just going through the regular period pains or the regular this or that. And whole time long, it is a undiscovered issue that's happening in your body. So prayers goes out to her, for real, her and her family. And I just truly feel like God has the final say in certain references to things. So if they wanted to have more kids or anything like that, I'm almost sure that they will be able to come up with provisions and ways to make that happen.
For sure. Let me ask you, because I don't know too much about how this works. Do you think in a situation like this, like, even if she wanted to take her eggs and have them, like, frozen, is this something that she can do?
That's
just in case that comes about?
That's a great question. So I'm not 100% sure how that works. I know with the fallopian tubes, that's almost kind of like getting your tubes tied. So she probably won't be able to carry any children. I don't know how it worked with the egg count, though. Like, if she would still produce eggs that she can put up, that part I don't know. Dang, I wish my mama was here. My mama would know. Shout out to nurse practitioner Delia. She'll know. Wish I could call her right now to tell us.
But definitely prayers go to Monaleo. You know, we're rooting for you for a smooth recovery.
Yeah.
We are both fans, so definitely prayers to her. If you ask me, I think this is for the culture, because it is a conversation that should be had more.
Yeah.
And it should open your eyes to see that, you know, things can seem okay on the outside.
Yeah.
But regular checkups is just that important, because that's possibly how you can catch things in advance.
Yep. And push the pin Push the pen. This is for the culture
Right,
as
when you
well
know your
because
body.
women need to push the pen about stuff at the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Stop taking a slap on the wrist or stop taking pain medication and that just being it as a temporary fix, and really start going to see specialists and really start to try to utilize your resources and reaching out to people that have the resources so we could get some of these things under wraps sooner than later.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, while we're talking about resources, we got to talk about the lack of for a certain generation, and that is Gen Z. We just want to have a quick conversation with you guys, Gen Z. Come closer to the podium. This is what we would say, a masterclass for you guys. You guys are cooked. Like, y'all guys are crazy cooked.
Yep, fried.
Cooked
I'm
fried. Because let me ask y'all this serious question. Let's have a real conversation. Why are y'all so touchy about everything?
Why are y'all touchy about everything? But why don't y'all know who Whitney Houston is?
You're not even Bobby Brown.
That's insane. Like, this is my thing with Gen Z, right?
Back up real quick. Talk about the video with Whitney Houston.
So, it was a young man walking around, and he was on a college campus, literally, walking around, taking photos to each random student that was walking by. And he showed an image of Whitney Houston to each person. People called the lady Sierra. People called the lady Alicia Keys.
They say she a baddie.
Some people say, I don't know, but she fine. Like, the fact that you guys are so far removed from the culture, but also are the same group of people that's currently creating the culture. And then y'all are also the same group of people that have to become our doctors, nurses, firefighters, teachers, and everything. I am afraid.
For sure.
I'm afraid.
Like, if you ask me, that lack of knowledge right there shows why they're not prepared for so many other areas within the space right now, even their lives and media, in any of it. Because history is also where everything starts, right? So
history also repeats itself. So if you don't fucking know the history,
exactly,
you don't know what's to come.
And you know, when you look at our generation, right, it almost was like there was a level of gatekeeping, and you hear a lot of the OGs talk about gatekeeping and how important it was, and people argue them on that. But I do think there's a level of importance in that, because what we watched technically was gatekept by the media.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of knew who was the hottest artist at the time, or who was the buzzing artist, who was the person who was the best in a specific niche. We knew what shows was the premier shows to go watch on TV. We know who the people who was in politics. Like, we just kind of knew everything because TV played a part, because we actually sat down and watched TV.
Yeah.
Radio was a thing, because you couldn't really just go and stream on demand at your own.
Yeah.
You had to listen to what was on the radio.
We didn't have For You pages.
Right, you didn't have For You pages and algorithms.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of was forced to know what was the current.
Yeah.
And who was who. And that taught us a lot. And I think looking back in hindsight, it's respectable that we had that, because now it almost seems like the world is a free fall. So like with algorithms, you can have the next best celebrity on your timeline, but if I don't see anything that I have an interest of her or him about, they can actually never cross
come
my
across your
eye.
page. Yeah.
Like, I can never see them, and I can go 10 years and be like, who is this person? You'd be like, she's been around for 10 years now.
Yeah.
Going crazy. And you'd be like, I don't know. Never saw him. Because the algorithm runs the world right now. And I think that's the problem for Gen Z. The algorithm runs their life, even in school.
Yeah.
You know, school, you have AI, you have all of these other aspects to it now, to where the attention span is so short that they're not working to their full potential, or not even pushing those brain cells.
Yeah.
So now you get in the job force, and you have lack of motivation.
Yeah.
They're not they don't seek new opportunities as much as their millennial counterparts might,
you don't
or the
seek
baby
to problem
boomers.
solve.
Yeah, you need help. Right, you either jump in the chat, or you straight going to your boss, hey, can you tell me how to do this? And your boss looking at you like, because this was one of the comments that I seen, it was like the lack of, Gen Z complains about the lack of training in the workforce. But if I remember correctly, especially in the career job I've had, there was no training. they expected that you came in knowing the position and knowing what you were supposed to do.
Yeah,
The
you
only thing
read
they
the
train
job
you on is
description.
the culture of the organization.
Yes, or whatever
How
their
we do
systems
things.
are. Yes, or logistics, but that's it. The job
I'm
itself.
not training you how to do the
job. Yeah, you
I'm
got hired because I thought you knew how to do the job.
Right, and that goes back to y'all line on them resumes talking about y'all know what y'all doing. And then you get in there and you can't show. See, there was a difference between millennials. We can lie on our resume because we also knew what the fuck to do.
Exactly.
We can finesse the
Exactly.
resume because we had the skill.
And you
We just
only
needed to get in
finessed
the
it
door.
because you knew what to do.
Exactly.
If you did finesse it.
Exactly. I wasn't
but-
finessing the resume if I didn't know what the fuck I was
I'm
doing.
not gonna show up to a construction job with a construction resume knowing damn well I don't know the first fucking thing about no constructing.
You gonna ask me what's this? I'm like, I don't not know.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes when it's so many things so accessible at the tips of your finger, you stop using your brain to a certain extent for sure. You know, like it becomes, I know for a fact I can go just look up the answer real quick or ask chat the answer. And I think that there's nothing wrong with technology, but we have to get back to a certain level of like happy medium between all the technical stuff and you being the person to do the technical stuff instead of relying on the technology all the time.
Right.
Like, I think that's what have us having AI artists for people who can't sing and shit like that versus using AI to mix and master your music.
Right.
You know, it's
Or
a
better your
difference.
craft.
Yes, it's a difference because the person who using AI to mix and master their music is somebody who at least knows the craft. But the person who is over here literally making music from scratch through an AI artist, you actually don't know the first fucking thing. You just typing in a script. You know? So it's like, it throws salt in the game in more ways than one, in more genre than one, in more field than one. And I'm just tired of like the Gen Zers being so touchy. I think that our generation is fairly touchy as well, but we also have that grit in that grunge that's kind of like, yeah, I felt that shit. I heard what y'all said. I picked up what y'all putting down, but forward motion. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't get too held up on what it is that we feel and what we feel alone. This generation is locked in on what they feel and what they feel alone completely. That is how we get into the conversation about Captain Durag.
Yeah.
Guess who all the people on TikTok making videos for
Gen
Captain
Z
Durag?
and black.
A bunch of young people or a bunch of black people. And it's like, come on now. Like, we are wasting time. You guys are selectively being outraged by dumb shit.
But you want to know why? Even with that standpoint, the reason they're complaining, if you ask me, is because, once again, goes back to history. Y'all don't understand how important of a moment this is because you don't know the lack of it that we had just 10 years ago.
Yeah. What does that say about us, though? Like, what does that say about us as the generation that came up before? Because something that I noticed about us is we are slick, also a semi-selfish generation.
Yeah, I think that was
We don't
almost
have
by
kids
design.
right now. You don't have kids, I don't have kids.
Yeah.
So it's not like we are putting out some Gen Zers right now who could be influenced on the other Gen Zers. By the grace of God, we just so happen to be people who, though we don't have kids, we do have access to a group of other people's children that we get to mold and shape and build up and put our influence into their situation. So that helps us, but it's like, what do we do?
I think it's important to also understand, to get to our solution, that it's almost like by design. And I remember I was having a conversation a while back with some of the producers, and they brought up the idea of like too many options.
Yeah.
I think for us as millennials, we had an array of options at our fingertips to kind of decide where we wanted to go, which kind of make us kind of feel all over the place. Versus the generations before us, they was able to kind of own in on what they really wanted to do.
Right.
And it could just be, once again, just based on the environment of the world at the time.
Yeah.
And then when we got in, we kind of came in at the beginning of like the internet era, and it wasn't to where the internet era is now.
Right.
But it was kind of the resurgence of that, where we just had more options at our hands and more resources to kind of feel like we can conquer the world.
Yeah.
And now this generation, now they have an amplified amount of options.
Yeah.
And not even just options, resources to make things look as though they are when they aren't.
Yeah.
You know, so they have way too much to do and still not enough like of the understanding, because they can start businesses at their, you know, from the comfort of their own home.
Yeah.
But then they don't have the knowledge behind actually how to run a business, because they didn't actually go through the grit and the problem solving skills and developing all of this stuff to get to the point of actually having a business to be able to appreciate it.
Right.
So it's like somewhere in the middle, there still has to be an understanding of past, present, and future.
And where we're going. Yeah.
For you to actually be successful in any of the generations.
Yeah.
And so it's just really about the conversation and blending them all together. And I think that's what Gen Z falls short. Because
Yeah.
they're so quick to say you guys are out of touch versus let me learn
Or
from
they
you.
don't want to listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I would advise at this point, if you are somebody that's from the generation above, like if you're a millennial or anything older than that, I say a way for us to try to help with the situation is, again, you have a duty to children, even if they're not your children. I think if we walk around thinking like that a lot more, I think we could change that dynamic. And the way we would do that is if you started, because that's how we was treated when we was younger. When people saw kids outside of school, them people ain't have to know you. Why y'all ain't at school? You know what I'm saying? It don't matter who it was. This could be a random adult that you have never seen in your life. Nowadays, we'll just walk past them kids, you know? So it's like you do still have a duty to the generation that comes behind you, whether they are literally your kids or your family or not. You have a duty to them. So I advise finding some kids and literally loving on them through the format of knowledge and like history and teaching them how to think for themselves and teaching them how to be the new generation of leaders. Like, it's going to require you to stick out like a sore thumb. You're not going to be able to do everything that everybody else in your class does. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be set apart, and that is completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my fix for it. And right now, I'm one of the adults that got my hands on some kids. So I feel like I'm serving my duty.
Definitely, for sure. That's what I've been focused on as well.
Yeah.
I'm helping, especially with my nieces and my nephews, like, y'all gotta do better.
Yeah.
I'm going to help
You
them.
uncultured swine.
And that takes us into the word of the day, perseverance.
Yes.
Persevere y'all ass in somebody's school.
That. Y'all persevere like Tenderism did and go start your own shit. You persevere and you get that trademark back. You persevere and you get up and do what you need to do despite what it is that you feel.
You persevere and get up and do some shit with your life and stop complaining about everything that really doesn't even matter.
So again, everybody, say it with us.
Perseverance. Spell it.
Nah, we should do that too, because I ain't gonna hold y'all. The way words be kicking our ass, we probably should spell it.
Use it in a sentence.
You use it in a sentence. I had to use chlorophyll last week.
Use it in a sentence?
Yeah.
Okay. Perseverance. Yesterday, I persevered my way through the gym because I was tired as shit.
Good job. I'm proud of you. It's a good way to persevere. That's a perfect example of push through
Perseverance.
and do what you gotta do regardless of how you feel. And that's how we do that there.
Plan and follow through. That's the motto.
Yep. I think this was good.
I think this was great, Johnson.
Yeah, me too. Y'all already know I'm obviously Johnson.
All right.
I'm gonna take us on up out of here.
Take us out of here.
Well, you guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Culture Clickbait. I'm your girl, Daysha E.
And I'm your motherfucking boy, Dante.
And y'all know we take the hottest headlines in music, sports, and entertainment, and we say it's for the culture.
Well, simply just for clicks.
6'7",
5'9",
6'11".
21.
Okay, that was fair. I don't got nothing else to say back.
And we out of here, y'all. Peace.